Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Garrison McDaniel, and we have a great show for you guys today. As always, we're going to jump right into our first segment talking about Davis Thompson's his record-setting win at the John Deere Classic, his first win of his PGA Tour career as well. Very impressive stuff from Davis Thompson. We're going to go over his scorecard, take a look at the biggest moments, the biggest spots for him. Our second segment, we'll be diving into the rest of the leaderboard at the John Deere Classic and superlatives from the weekend, talking about who had, of course, as always, best driver, best irons, best wedges, best putter, most surprising, and most disappointing from the weekend. Our third segment, we'll be talking about Keegan Bradley being named the 2025 U.S. Ryder Cup captain. Our fourth segment, we're going to be talking about rising stars on the PGA Tour and how fun the surge of young talent has been in the last few weeks. And then we'll be closing things off by giving you guys updated power rankings as we are going into our fourth major in a couple of weeks. We are now 10 days, less than 10 days, 9 days away, and in a few hours, 8 days away from the fourth and final major of the 2024 season. Can't believe this season has gone by this fast. I feel like we were talking about the PGA Championship at Valhalla literally yesterday. So, I mean, some crazy stuff, but it has been fun. It's been a very fun season, but it's coming to an end here, and we'll be talking all about that. But as always, before we get into any of that, guys, if you would like to become a bigger part of the show, bigger part of the podcast, use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. It does go a long way to help out the creators here at the GSMC Sports Network. So if you would be so kind, it would be very much appreciated. We're gonna get into our first segment of the night. With that being said, talking about Davis Thompson's win at the John Deere Classic. Very, very impressive win here for Davis Thompson. It comes off the back of, really 3 fantastic days where he just went out and won the day, really. At the John Deere Classic, it is a par 71. He finishes 28 under and sets a course tournament record for 4 days at a 28 under, passing I had it written down. I completely forget now. He did surpass somebody who set the record in 2018. I don't know why Tom Kim's coming to my brain. I don't think he played in this one in 2018, but he could have. Yeah, it's not coming to me. But 2018 was when the record was set. It stood for 6 years, and Davis Thompson breaks it this weekend. After, really 4 fantastic rounds of golf, he shot 63, 67, 62, 64 in the weekend when the stress and the nerves are at the height that they are all week. He absolutely won both days, and it was so impressive. He deserved this one, absolutely. So we're going to go look through round 1 here. That birdie that you see in hole 1 came off the back of just fantastic green play, and you're going to see this as a pattern for Davis Thompson this weekend. Fantastic around the green, fantastic when he got on the green. Great putter this guy is. So hole 1 is just a 1 putt after a 127 second shot that landed him in the middle of the green. It was about a 15 foot putt, and he sinks it. Same thing here at hole number 2. Hole number 2, I stand corrected. It's a par 5, first shot 314, second shot 230 is a fantastic second shot that I found the front left side of this green, and then he has a 15-foot putt. He misses it just to within 1 foot and is able to put away that gimme for a birdie. Hole 3, he had a 2 putt, and then here's where he really started. Hole 4, fantastic on the green. 5 and 6 were pars. 7, it is a fantastic tee shot on a par 3 that landed him with a 2. Getting a 2 on a scorecard in the front 9 of a tournament is always lovely, and he does do that. And then the back 9, it is another impressive, just bogey-free, very great golf scorecard here. On hole 10, it's a par 5 that he found himself into the rough, had a layup, but was able to put his second or his third shot within a foot of the pin. It's just very impressive what this guy was able to do the entire weekend, really controlling greens and regulation. When he got on the green, it was very controlled, and just all of these holes, it just shows how fantastic this guy really is playing right now. In recent weeks, he's been this good. First, this past week, a T2 at the Rocket Mortgage, a T9 at the U.S. Open, a T27 at the Memorial, T17 at the Charles Schwab, T2 at the Myrtle Beach. So about a 7-week stretch of golf where this guy has just absolutely dominated, and now we see it again here. Going back to his round 1 scorecard, 14, it's a par, 15 par, 16 par, 17, it's a birdie. He loved the par 5s this week and was able to go out there and really score on all of the par 5s that he faced, or most of the par 5s that he faced. He has an eagle on this card. Hole 3, or hole 12, but it was his third hole of the day, was where he found his first bogey of the entire weekend. He didn't have many bogeys. This was his worst round of the weekend because of the 3 bogeys. It's just tee shots that kind of went errant on all of them. On 12, on 4, on 8. Tee shot in a bunker, tee shot well off the green. I think he 2 or 3 putts, he 3 putts on hole 8. He gets a 3 putt on hole 4, and he gets a 2 putt on hole 12. It's just not perfect, but it's still pretty good play from him on the round 2, and it put him at the top end of the leaderboard. The leaderboard after day 2, it was like Aaron Rye was up there. I think Aaron Rye was up there. Denny McCarthy was up there, and then of course Hayden Springer after his round that he found a 59 on, that we'll be talking about in the next segment. But his second round, not too much to talk about. It wasn't fantastic, but an eagle on hole 2 showed us what he really could do on this hole. This is close to the result we saw in round 1. Pretty similarly played by him. Just a little bit different, and he wasn't able to get the eagle in round 1, but able to do so in round 2. Round 3 now for him is a almost perfect round of golf. He finds 5 birdies on the front 9 and 4 birdies on the back 9 for 9 under on the day. It's one of the best scores that we saw on the entire weekend, a 62. This put him at the top of the leaderboard heading into round 4. Birdie on 1, birdie on 2, love the par 5s. Like I said, this guy was driving the ball better than anybody this week, or not better than anybody. He didn't get the best driver, but he was driving the ball so well. Had a 371-yard drive on the second hole on round 3. Of course, this was downhill, downwind, so that added a lot of run and a lot of distance to the golf ball. However, it's still so impressive that what he was able to do with it. And then it's still a birdie on 2, which is very impressive. A birdie on 5, one of the harder holes on the golf course. Birdie on 6, birdie on 8, the hole that he bogeyed on in the previous round. So got a little bit of redemption. And then the back 9, it's almost perfect as well. A fantastic tee shot that landed within 6 inches of the hole on hole 12. That one was so impressive. That hole 12 tee shot was almost a hole-in-one, and tell me an ace wouldn't have looked good on the scorecard. That started a run of 3 straight birdies in 12, 13, and 14, and it's just fantastic play. Almost drove the green on the par 4 14th. Unfortunately for him, wasn't able to do it with the back left pin position. However, was able to put it in the green side bunker and able to scramble up and down for a birdie. If you're able to get up and down for a birdie, you're playing some pretty dang good golf. 15 par, 16 par to his 17th hole, where he does get a birdie on a par 5, but it's such a weird way to play this par 5. I don't think anybody played it. He hit it into the left rough and then ended on the left. So there's a split fairway here. He hit it from the right fairway, left rough of that right fairway onto the other fairway to lay up to get his birdie here. Very smart golf by Davis Thompson, a young golfer who is looking to really make a noise in on the PGA Tour. Of course, now has a PGA Tour card for the next 2 years. Davis Thompson is a name that we might be seeing pop up all over the place. He's only 25 years old and doing stuff like this. And then in the fourth and final round of the weekend, look at that front nine. It's a 29 on the front nine for this guy to absolutely bury the competition. And that's absolutely what he buried the competition on Sunday. There was opportunities for other guys like Michael Thorbjornsen was close, like Nick Clan was close, these guys were close, but no cigar. That front nine, it killed everybody else. Davis Thompson then played some of the best in the lead golf I've seen. Was at a point 7 under through 10 holes on the day. Just crazy golf, but playing very safe, conservative golf for the rest of the round. Just hitting fairways, not getting too aggressive, and putting this one to bed. Davis Thompson is now a winner on the PGA Tour. This is like our 40th first-time winner of the season. Not exactly. That is an exaggeration. But seriously, this season has been full of the youngsters coming up, and we're going to be talking about it in our fourth segment. This tournament showcased a lot of the youngsters that are coming up, but Davis Thompson is the one that is able to take away the win here. This was his third time being in the top 2 in an event. This is his first time winning an event in his career. In the 20 events that he's played on tour, he has 4 top 10s. He turned professional in 2021, but I don't think he played on the PGA Tour. He has. Never mind. He played on the PGA Tour starting in 2021, 2022 was really the first season that he was on the tour. But man, this guy is so great around the greens, and we saw it the entire weekend. I can't wait to see how he plays overseas. I believe he is in the field for the Genesis Scottish Open, and I can't wait for that tournament. Although, let me tell you, with those tee times, I don't know if I'm waking up in time to watch that. In Central Time, where I'm at, it is gonna be 1 a.m. when the guys are first teeing off on Thursday. So. We'll see if I can stay up that late. That's what it is. So I can't wait to look over that and review that after. Probably I'll have to watch the rounds the morning after all of them get played. But we'll see if I'm able to wake up in time for that. But that'll wrap it up for our first segment of the night, talking about Davis Thompson. When I come back from my first break of the night, we'll be talking about the rest of the leaderboard and superlatives as we always do here on the GSMC Golf Podcast.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We're back with our second segment of the night. Just got done talking about Davis Thompson winning for the first time on tour. And now we're talking rest of the leaderboard and superlatives here on the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. once again, guys, if you want to help support the GSMC Sports Network, more ways than you guys already do just by tuning in and supporting me, you could use the GSMCpodcast.net tips and donations link to help support out all the creators here at the GSMC Sports Network. You could also ask me a question. It'll show up across the screen and help me be more connected with the audience. So with that being said, we're going to get into our second segment of the night, rest of the leaderboard and superlatives. Davis Thompson winning for the first time on tour is so fun, right? And I enjoyed that a lot. However, and take nothing away from Davis Thompson, but let me tell you, I was definitely rooting for Michael Thorbjornsen or Luke Clanton. I understood that it was a long shot, but these two guys on a Sunday, both of their first Sundays of their tour careers being in contention, shoot 8 under, both of them. I mean, that's so impressive. Both of them going out with a 63. Michael Thorbjornsen only playing in 4 official, or this is his 4th official event, I believe, without being an amateur on tour in his career. He's already 121st in FedEx Cup standings. This guy, if he goes out there and plays well at the ISCO championship this weekend, and he definitely could, we could be talking about him potentially making the FedEx Cup playoffs, and that would be so surprising. This guy is playing some fantastic golf, and I just love watching him. He makes a lot of cuts, and he plays well in the weekends. So he finishes tied second with Luke Clanton, who's an amateur 20-year-old golfer from Georgia. He is unable to collect his winnings for second. I believe it was somewhere around $700,000, and he doesn't get it because he's an amateur. A lot of people are debating that rule. Maybe that's a conversation for a later date. I don't hate it. I don't know if I'm too against it, but yeah, Luke Clanton unable to collect his winnings because he is an amateur. CT Pan also finished tied second. He was 24 under as well. 4 really good rounds for CT Pan. The worst round was a 68. And that was on a Saturday. He was in contention for the lead going into the weekend, but unable to really make something happen on moving day. Ben Griffin finished tied 5th. Carson Young, Denny McCarthy, Andrew Novak. In a weaker field, we do see a lot of fun names towards the top. Hayden Springer off of his sub-60 round. We had one last weekend, and now we're having another one this weekend. Crazy stuff. This is the 14th ever sub or 15th ever sub 60 round in tour history, so congratulations to Hayden Springer for that. But other notable names, Aaron Rai kind of did fall off on Sunday. Going into Sunday was one of the leaders, but a 69, only 2 under in the round, unable to get it done. Sungjae Im, 15th in the FedEx Cup standings. This guy just plays every single tournament. However, finished tied 12, unable to get another win. Other notable names, Jason Day, former number 1 golfer in the world, 16 under, tied 23rd. 4 consistent days, not one day where he really went out and won the day, and that's kind of what led him to being at tied 23rd. Zach Johnson, former Ryder Cup captain. We'll be talking plenty about him later. Stay tuned for that. That will be the next segment. Finished tied 26th. He finished tied with Jordan Spieth, Max Grazerman, JT Poston, some big guys, some big names on tour, especially Jordan Spieth, who only climbs. I think he actually fell one in the FedEx Cup standings to 60 from 59th. That is very disappointing to say the least. This was an opportunity for him to get into the top 50 for the BMW Championship, which, I mean, I'm pretty confident he wanted to be, but unable to do so. Unfortunate for him. So not too many more big names. Adrian Dumont finished 10 under T46. Joel Damon finished tied for 46th. Some of the younger guys in this field finish a little bit down there, like Thorbjornsen Olesen tied 61st. I know Neil Shipley missed the cut. Jackson Buchanan, another amateur, missed the cut. Matt Kuchar missed the cut. Adam Schenk missed the cut. And Maverick McNeely, I think, is the only other really big name that did miss the cut for this event here. Davis Riley, a former winner, also did. So that's the rest of the leaderboard. A lot of big names that didn't finish towards the top, like Seb Straka, Jordan Spieth, Sung J M, but it was still a very fun tournament nonetheless. With that being said, I am so excited to have Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Oberg, Victor Hovland back in the field. I like an event like this every once in a while, but when it's the Rocket Mortgage and the John Deere Classic in back-to-back weeks, it could get a little rough. And I enjoyed the golf, but I do want to see the bigger names back in the field, and I'm excited for next weekend. But for the superlatives, the best driver from the weekend, I said hands down goes to Max Grazerman. First in strokes gained off the tee, first in total driving. He was third in distance and fourth in accuracy. The only person in the top 5 of both of those things in a while. I think the last time I saw somebody in the top 5 of both of those categories was Rory McIlroy at the Wells Fargo when he won it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's the last time I saw somebody in the top 5 of both of those. He was also around an 80% in fairways hit, which is about 15% above tour average. So impressive what this guy was able to do with the driver. He gets the best driver from the weekend. Best irons goes to Keith Mitchell. First in strokes gained on approach, first in greens in regulation at 86% of greens in regulation. He finished 8th in proximity to hole, so he went out there and absolutely played some aggressive golf, and it paid dividends as he hit a lot of greens. Best wedges went to Davis Thompson. This is his first of 2 superlatives that he's going to win. For me, Davis Thompson, of course, the winner. So usually if you win a tournament, you do something very good in a couple of aspects of golf. For him, it was wedges, first proximity to hole, 5th in scrambling at 84.62%. That's about 25% above tour average that sits about 60. He was also 4th in strokes gained around the green. Best putter goes to Davis Thompson as well. He was first in putt average, so not 3-putting a lot, not 2-putting a lot. He was able to get up and down a good amount, talking about 5th in scrambling and first in putt average. That means you are getting up and down a lot of these holes. 5th in strokes gained putting at 1.860 strokes gained with the putter. That's some very impressive putting. He does get the best putter superlative for it. Lo siento. Most surprising is Luke Clanton, amateur, 20 years old, coming kind of out of nowhere, finishes 24 under in a PGA Tour event. Are you kidding me? 24 under is a crazy score for a 20-year-old. He is the most surprising, as you can tell. I'm pretty surprised about this, but it was so fun to watch. I mean, him and Michael Thorbjornsen might be a rivalry for the future. Hopefully Luke Clanton can go ahead and win one of these events so that he doesn't need to be an amateur anymore and he can get his tour card. Most disappointing for me, Jordan Spieth, Seb Straka. Jordan Spieth, T26, Seb Straka, T61. A lot of guys had Jordan Spieth, not me, to win this tournament. I'm not going to have Jordan Spieth win a single tournament until this guy actually proves that he's good at golf. Again, he's injured. We've talked about this entire year. He has a wrist injury that has been plaguing him this entire season. But it's still it's still been very disappointing for me, for you guys, for anybody that's a Jordan Spieth fan watching this guy. You expect fireworks, lightning in a bottle every time we watch him play golf, and he's still young in relation to, a lot of the people he's going up against, at least. He just doesn't show it too often, and I wish he did. I want to see prime Jordan Spieth again. Is that too much to ask? Maybe it is. But that'll wrap it up for the superlatives. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anybody I missed, anything that I got wrong. Is there somebody that you were more disappointed in than Jordan Spieth or Seb Straka? I was also personally disappointed in Neil Shipley, but he's 23 years old, playing in his 3rd professional event. You can't really blame him too much. Maybe it's his 2nd. Was the Travelers his? No, I think it's his 2nd actually PGA Tour event. It's his 3rd professional event. So you can't really go against that guy too much. He is still playing some fun golf. And that'll wrap it up for our second segment, talking about the rest of the leaderboard and superlatives. When I come back from my second break of the night, we'll be talking about Keegan Bradley being named the 2025 U.S. Ryder Cup captain.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Garrison McDaniel, and we're here with our third segment of the night, talking Keegan Bradley named 2025 U.S. Ryder Cup captain. There's a lot to talk about with this, but we're just going to give out the news first and then give my thoughts, like we do with most things here. So I'm going to be reading from an article by Paul Hodowanich, who is a writer for the PGA Tour. This is an article from the PGA Tour official website. In an unexpected move, the PGA of America tapped Keegan Bradley to captain the 2025 U.S. Ryder Cup team. A six-time PGA Tour winner, Bradley has played in 2 Ryder Cups and 1 President's Cup. He is 4-3-0 in his 2 Ryder Cup appearances. In 2012 and 2014, he hasn't been back in a while. He is 2-1 at the 2013 President's Cup. He has never been an assistant captain or captain for either event. Keegan Bradley, 39 at the time of next year's Ryder Cup, will be the youngest Ryder Cup captain since 34-year-old Arnold Palmer back in 1963. I am incredibly honored to accept this opportunity to captain the United States team at the 2025 Ryder Cup, said Bradley in a statement released Monday. I would like to thank the PGA of America Ryder Cup Committee for their trust in me as we embark on this journey to Bethpage Black in Farmingdale, New York. My passion and appreciation for golf's greatest team event have never been stronger. The Ryder Cup is unlike any other competition in our sport, and this edition will undoubtedly be particularly special given the rich history and enthusiastic spectators at this iconic course. I look forward to beginning preparations for 2025. We're still working, this is from Tiger Woods, who was going to be the captain, but we'll get to that later. It's a full circle moment for Bradley, who was in consideration for a team's captain pick on the 2023 Ryder Cup, but was controversially left off the team by Zach Johnson. He ranked 11th in the points list, ahead of eventual picks Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth. Bradley was last a part of the 2014 Ryder Cup at Glen Eagles in Scotland, and famously has not unpacked his suitcase from that week. He can officially unpack it now. That was a crazy story when it came out on Full Swing on Netflix last year. Shows you how much this competition means to these guys, and you gotta love it for that. Bradley will get his Ryder Cup redemption after all, but likely not in the role he imagined. He will return to Bethpage Black, where he played often as a collegiate golfer at St. John's University in New York City. The course superintendent allowed the team to play Mondays when the course is closed, which is really cool. This is a special moment for Keegan Bradley. This is a guy that was snubbed off of last year's list. I mean, you heard me read it. He was 11th ahead of Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler. He should have been there last year, and everybody thought he should have been there, but was left off Zach Johnson's list. Was probably the first guy left off Zach Johnson's list, And then, I mean, full circle moment can't be more true because it is Zach Johnson that gives Keegan Bradley the call to let him know that he was the Ryder Cup captain for 2025. I can't imagine taking that phone call if you're Keegan. If you're if you're just sitting at home, or well, they're in Scotland right now, but if you're just sitting in your hotel in Scotland and get the phone, yeah, Zach, yeah, this is Keegan. I'm the Ryder Cup captain. Finally, you gave me a call. You know, something like that. I mean, Keegan Bradley was playing some fantastic golf last year, and it comes at a point in his life where you don't expect him to be playing as good as he's been playing, and especially, I mean, this year too, he's been pretty fantastic. I think he's pretty up there in the FedEx Cup standings. Actually, let me make sure that he is pulling up the FedEx Cup standings right now. But if I'm not mistaken, he's up like top 20 or so. He might not be. Oh, he is 37th. So, yeah, definitely playing some good golf this year. This season, having 2 top 10s, was able to do pretty well recently as well, with a T2 at the Charles Schwab, T18 at the PGA Championship, T32 at the US Open. Has had some pretty solid events this year. Last year was a lot better than this year, of course. Last year, when he was notably snubbed off of the Ryder Cup team, he had 2 wins, including the Travelers Championship, which is a signature event. He had a good finish at the Farmers Insurance Open. That was the second place at the Farmers Insurance Open, actually. He was T10 at the Arnold Palmer. Was just all over the place. Very, very good golf last year. T9 at the Tour Championship. And then just was snubbed off of the list. It was just a shocking omission. We felt like he should have been there over Ricky Fowler, as was well documented. If anybody that's probably listened to this podcast has watched Full Swing on Netflix, fantastic documentary throughout the entire PGA Tour season. I'm excited for season 3 for this season. But yeah, I mean, you look at it, and I'm not gonna say that we won the Ryder Cup with him instead of Ricky Fowler last year, who didn't play too bad, but we definitely could have scored some more points. We definitely could have made it a little bit more competitive. Jordan Spieth showed to be the right pick. I think he was 4-1 or he was undefeated. He did really well last year at the Ryder Cup and was worthy of his pick, but Ricky Fowler not so much, and Keegan Bradley definitely could have been there, and now he's going to be there next year, but in a different capacity. He is a captain, so he'll be picking the team, he'll be helping coaching the team throughout the week, but he will not be playing as he's not a playing captain. We thought that this was going to be Tiger Woods, which is... So I saw a video from Dan Rappaport today. I believe it was on his TikTok page, Foreplay. And he texted Keegan Bradley last night or yesterday morning at like 5:45 a.m. to ask Keegan Bradley if Tiger Woods was the pick for Ryder Cup captain. And then like 3 hours later he finds out the news and he texts Keegan Bradley, "Are you the captain?" ? And then Keegan Bradley just laughs and says, "Hey, how about that?" So I thought that was a very funny exchange between the Dan Rappaport, who is a fantastic golf journalist, and Keegan Bradley, who respects him and is a fantastic golfer. I'm excited to see what he does. He went out today in a press conference, and he said he was asked by a journalist, what are you going to be looking at for like Live Golf Tour guys? Are you going to be watching the Live Golf Tour to make some captain picks? Do you expect to take guys from over there? And he said, we're going to get the best guys on this team next year to help us win. He is so focused on winning this event. Bryson DeChambeau will be on the team next season. I am very confident about that. I am excited to see that as well. Who knows? Maybe this time next year we have a merger and we're talking about, these guys playing in the same field, and we can make a better picks than we did last year. of course, with Zach Johnson not being the best Ryder Cup captain, he probably won't ever be a Ryder Cup captain again with the amount of backlash that Team USA got from that. But for Keegan Bradley, he did say that they're going to just get the best guys. So Bryson DeChambeau will probably be on that team. Brooks Koepka has a great chance at getting on that team. Other guys like Dustin Johnson, like Patrick Reed, these guys can definitely be on that team. I don't think that Keegan Bradley is going to hold what Patrick Cantlay did last year against him. I don't think that, if Jordan Spieth is playing good golf, he'll be in there. If he's not playing good golf, he won't be in there. We're going to probably see Scottie Scheffler on the team. You could probably figure out who the team's going to be next season just based off of the form right now. I don't expect too much of the top guys to drop off, especially like a Bryson DeChambeau. I'm excited for this team. I think that this has the chance to be one of the most competitive Ryder Cups of all time. You're looking at Team USA with Scottie Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, Xander Schauffele, Collin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Brooks Koepka, maybe guys like that. And then you're looking at Team Europe, Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry, Victor Hovland, Ludwig Oberg, John Rahm could maybe be on Team Europe next year. There's some good storylines here, and who knows? Next season we might be talking about a young guy like Luke Clanton, Nick Dunlap, Michael Thorbjornsen being in the field and like being in contention to take a Ryder Cup pick. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I think that the golf over the next year is going to be some of the most fun and entertaining golf. I think 2025 has the chance to be one of the more entertaining years in golf history. Just with a lot of things that looks like it's going to shape up to be. I'm so excited to get to be talking about, I think that a merger is going to happen in the foreseeable future. I'm not saying this year, maybe even not next year, but I think talks do ramp up next year. I think a lot of people want it, and we're trending in that direction. And it's something that I'm very excited about, getting fields to be back again. And with guys like Scottie Scheffler on a generational run, Bryson DeChambeau having 3 top 10s in the 3 majors so far this year. It's been some fun golf just in 2024, and it's been kind of a down year for golf. And now with a lot of young stars rising, with the Ryder Cup upcoming next season, only about a year away now from it, it could ramp up a lot and get pretty exciting. I am excited about it, but that'll wrap up for our third segment of the night, talking Ryder Cup, the greatest event that golf has to offer. Yes, above the Masters. Yes, above other majors as well. When I come back from my third break of the night, we'll be talking about the rising stars on the PGA Tour and what I'm seeing from a lot of young guys and how exciting it is.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Garrison McDaniel, and we're back here with our fourth and penultimate segment of the night, talking about the rising stars on the PGA Tour and what I'm seeing from a host of young talent on this tour. I'm just going to go through a list of names and give some ages for these names, and it gets me excited. Michael Thorbjornsen is 22 years old. Luke Clanton, 20 years old. Neil Shipley, 23. Nick Dunlap, 20. Miles Russell, 15. And we saw what he could do at the Rocket Mortgage. That was some fun golf. Tom Kim, 21. Akshay Bhatia, 21. Gordon Sargent, 20. Ludwig Oberg, 24. And I'll even throw in Victor Hovland, who's 26 in this, the young guys on the tour. This is some fun golf, and I know I'm leaving out some people, but just, getting a point across here. It's fun. It's fantastic. I love watching this. I mean, golf is fun when you have a host of young talent. In 2013, 2014, 2012 range, when, young Ricky Fowler was coming up, when young Jordan Spieth, young Justin Thomas was coming up, it was some fun golf. When young Rory McIlroy was coming up around that time, I think it was around 2010 for him. It's fun, and they just take the tour by storm and go out and play some fantastic golf. When you see a lot of young talent in golf, you see a lot of guys that are willing to just go out there and take some huge risks, and that's what I love about it the most. You got these guys that are you got guys that just don't have scar tissue, right? The guys that don't have mistakes made and don't have to be worrisome of these mistakes. So what it makes them do is go out there and play some aggressive golf. And usually when you're playing aggressive golf, you're playing some good golf. Of course, it can come back to haunt you. But that's what, you learn from your mistakes, and that's what leads you to be like a Scotty Scheffler, a robot that just doesn't make mistakes but plays so passively, plays almost perfect golf. That guy's fantastic. And shoot, I mean, he's 27? I mean, he's not too far off from being in this group. I'm not going to put him in this group, but he's not too far off from it. I mean, you have guys like Adrian Dumont de Chazeret. A lot of young guys in golf right now, and it's fun to watch. PGA Tour U has done a good job at promoting these guys through college, and then when they get their opportunity, they go out there and know what to do. Of course, you're looking at Michael Thorbjornsen, a former number 1 PGA Tour University player out of Stanford. Luke Clanton, a future number 1 PGA Tour U, and that's if he gets there. I mean, that guy could get a PGA Tour card any week now. I think he's in the field again for the... Yes, he is in the field for the ISCO Championship. This ISCO Championship, by the way, I might be watching it a little bit more than I'm watching the Genesis Scottish Open. To be quite frank with you, I mean, I won't, right? But I'll be definitely paying attention to it. I don't pay attention to parallel tour events because what gets the clicks is the big events, but you got some fun guys in the field for the ISCO Championship. You got Michael Thorbjornsen. You have Neil Shipley. This is going to be a rivalry for many years that I'm excited to talk about. Neil Shipley versus Michael Thorbjornsen. Number 1 in the PGA Tour University, but when they went out on the actual tour, it is Neil Shipley that's been the low AM at the U.S. Open and the Masters. Of course, he's also a Buckeye, so I got to support him a little bit more. No, not seriously. But, yeah, I think those two have been playing some fantastic golf. And, yes, you have some fun names in the field at the Genesis Scottish Open. Of course, there's a pairing of Ludwig Oberg, Colin Morikawa, and Hideki Matsuyama. That's going to be really fun. But I think that the ISCO Championship can be very fun as well. And, especially for guys, especially on the Pacific side. I mean, for guys on the Pacific coast of the of North America or of the USA, the first tee time at the Genesis Scottish Open is going to be 11:10 p.m. It's going to be 11 at night is going to be the first tee times. I won't blame you if you don't stay up to watch that, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Catch it back up in the morning. But the final tee times, they do roll out at 8:30 in the morning, my time, so that'll be 9:30 on the East Coast. Of course, I'm in Central Time. So there'll be plenty of golf still left to watch, still left to be watched by the time, you get up, get your coffee in the morning, whatever in America. But that's just life for the next 2 weeks with tournaments overseas. We go through this every year. One regular tournament overseas, and then you get the Open Championship, which is always fun to watch anyways, whether it's at St. Andrews or another golf place or a golf venue in Scotland or in England. I believe it is in Scotland, but I don't think it's in St. Andrews. I believe it's somewhere else in Scotland this year for the Open Championship. So I'm still excited to watch it. But anyways, if you don't want to watch those guys, if you don't want to wake up that early in the morning to watch those guys, there's still going to be some fantastic golf being played at the ISCO Championship. That's what I really want to emphasize with this point. I'm excited to watch it. I think Akshay Bhatia is in the field of the Genesis Scottish Open. I'm actually very confident in that. Let me make sure. He's not. Is he actually not? Is he at the ISCO? Oh, he's just not in the field at all. I wonder. I'm gonna look into what Akshay Bhatia is up to this weekend. Forgot I'd do that beforehand, but when it comes to the ISCO Championship, is some fun amateurs to keep an eye out for. Of course, you got Luke Clanton, who is playing some fantastic golf, just 24 under last weekend, who looked fantastic. You have Neil Shipley playing in his third ever PGA Tour event. You have other guys that are amateurs, like, I don't think Gordon Sargent is in this field, but I know that there is another amateur if I could find him eventually. Adrian Dumont de Chazar is going to be in the field at the ISCO Championship. JJ Spawn's at the ISCO Championship. Other fun names like, of course, Michael Thornjornsson, Hayden Springer, who just had a sub 60 round, SH Kim, Mac Maynor, all going to be over there. And then Joel Damon's also going to be at the ISCO Championship. There's going to be some fun golf being played, and it will get you guys accustomed to these young guys on tour, these young rising stars. I mean, I went through the list. I'll go through it again. Michael Thornjornson's 22 years old. Luke Clanton's 20. Neil Shipley's 23, and he's like the oldest guy here. Miles Russell, 15. Tom Kim, 21. Akshay Bhatia, 21. Gordon Sargent, 20. Ludwig Gobert, 24, who is already going to be overseas. But, yeah, I'm enjoying this. Look, if you guys follow my hockey podcast here at the GSMC Sports Network, I do talk a lot about prospects over there, and it's no secret that I love talking about guys progressing in their sport. There's just something that I really love about guys getting better and getting better through repetition and through experience, and there's no place like, golf that you do that. And I think that we're going to be watching a new generation of golfers here, and I want to get ahead of the curve talking about it, because I think that this is going to be a story that a lot of people talk about here coming up. But that'll wrap it up for our fourth segment of the night, talking about the rising stars on the PGA Tour. When I come back from my fourth and final break of the night, we'll be talking top 10 World Golf Power Rankings for the fourth and final major of the season. Welcome back to the fifth and final segment of the GSMC Golf Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We're here with our power rankings, updated power rankings. Wow, I can't speak. I think the last time I did this was 2 to 3 weeks ago now, so I think it's about time to update it going into the Going into the Open Championship. I don't know why I completely blanked on what the name of the fourth major is. But, yeah, going into Open Championship, talking power rankings. Oh, I didn't give the updated ones. Oh, that's so disappointing. Tom Kim is not 10th anymore. I put the ones from the last time. Give me 1 second. A little technical difficulties here. I will fix them on the fly for us here. Can't believe I did that. But anyways, I should have known from the color because I definitely did not make these ones pink. Here we go. Fixed it. Updated power rankings. Little technical difficulties, but that never hurts anybody. Number 10, Akshay Bhatia. He's been playing some fantastic golf. Akshay Bhatia was top of my mind earlier because I put him at 10th on my power rankings for Akshay. Let's pull up some of his recent placings here that I definitely should have had pulled up, but completely blanked that he was there. But it's T2 at the Rocket Mortgage. It's a T5 at the Travelers. A T16 at the U.S. Open. He took the last week off at the John Deere Classic because it was a little bit heartbreaking fashion for him. He's won on tour before. He is 11th in the FedEx Cup standings. He has made almost $5 million on the tour this year alone. He's having a fantastic season, one to be very proud of, and he is a top 10 golfer in the world right now. Akshay Bhatia is. Moving on, number 9, it's Tony Finau. Tony Finau has had a fantastic season as well. I believe he's 14th in the FedEx Cup standings, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Finau has not won yet this season, but it's coming. I can feel it. He usually does play better in July and August anyways, and he is 13th. So sorry. I do stand corrected. But he is number 9th in my power rankings. After having not too fantastic of a start to the season. It's a T6 at the Farmers Insurance, but that was really the highlight of it. T2 at the Houston Open in March. But since then, hasn't missed a cut in over 4 months now. And not over 4 months, but almost 4 months now. T5, T3, T8, T17, T18 are the last 5 tournaments that he has played in. He only really plays in the signature events. He doesn't play in any other tournament. Unfortunately for us, we do want to see more of Tony Finau, but we will be reminded about how good he is next week at the Genesis Scottish Open. Number 9, Tony Finau. Number 8, Wyndham Clark. Started the season very well. Has fallen off significantly. I had him up to 5 a couple months ago, and now he has fallen off. I think he was 7 in the last one. Now he's 8. He just steadily decreases here until he can get back in the top 5 or top 10. It's been a little while. Hasn't played too great of golf as of late, but he is 8th in my power rankings, is Wyndham Clark. Next up, Ludwig Åberg. Has had I combined fantastic and phenomenal. Has had fantastic placings in majors this season, but has not been able to win yet this season, and that's kind of what I'm waiting on to put him higher and higher. I believe he's 4th in the official World Golf Rankings right now. He's had amazing placements. He's very high up there on the FedEx Cup, in the FedEx Cup standings as well, as he is. My computer is just moving very slowly. That is unfortunate. He is number 6 in the FedEx Cup standings, only about 100 points behind Wyndham Clark and Collin Morikawa for a 4th or a 3rd spot. Playing some fantastic golf is Ludwig Åberg. I'm excited to see what he does overseas. Going back to his home in Europe, of course he is Swedish, played college golf here in America, so home in both countries. Patrick Cantlay, number 6. Playing some fantastic golf as of late. Played some great golf at the Travelers Championship. Didn't have his best stuff at the Memorial, and that was shocking. But did play some good golf at the U.S. Open. I have him at 6 because he's just he's a top 10 golfer in the world. Is he not? He is 9th in the FedEx Cup standing. Only behind, Hideki Matsuyama, who's injured right now. Seith Theegala, who has not had his best stuff as of late. And then guys that are higher than him on this list. So number 6 is Patrick Cantlay, who is having a pretty good season. Number 5, Collin Morikawa. He's been fantastic. Just with everything that he does, he's always very good. 6 career tour wins since turning pro in 2019, but this season, not a single win, but a lot of top 5s. I mean, 2nd at the Memorial, 4th at the Charles Schwab, tied for 4th at the PGA Championship, 9th at the RBC Heritage, tied 3rd at the Masters. I mean, looking at his major performance, tied T3, T4, T14. He's good. He's fantastic. Playing some good golf. He has made a lot of money this year. $7.5 million playing golf. 4th in the FedEx Cup standings. He has, in the 16 events that he's played in, 12 top 25s and 6 top 10s. Without a win, that's as good of a resume as you're going to see. It's pretty fantastic for Colin Morikawa. He gets 5th in the official world golf or in my official world golfer power rankings. A little bit different. Bryson DeChambeau is number 4. This guy just won a U.S. Open. He does very well on the Live Golf Tour in the one event they've had since then. He deserves to stay at number 4. He's a fantastic golfer, and I can't wait to see him at the Open Championship when he does play. Live Golf right now is in Spain. So, one fun thing is Live Golf is in Spain right now. I think that's because they know that the Open Championship is played in Scotland, and they want their guys to play well. And so the tour has the Genesis Scottish Open before the Open Championship for a reason. You have that week you have like 2 weeks to get acclimated to the time difference, to the elevation change when you go over to England. You have time to adjust to the course and how the wind plays in England. It is a lot different to play golf in England than America. So Bryson DeChambeau going to Spain, you do get some of that. You do get the time difference. You get some of the wind because you do have the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Ocean right there when you are in Spain. So it is pretty similar. So I think that they do it on purpose. We're going to see how it turns out, but it would just make sense to me if they did do it on purpose. So number 4 does go to Bryson DeChambeau, of course, playing on the Live Golf, but he deserves to be in the top 10. Only Live golfer in my top 10. Number 3, and I think the top 4 remains the same from maybe the top 5. I think Colin Morikawa might have been at 5, but nonetheless, they all pretty much remain the same. It's Rory McIlroy at number 3, having a fantastic season, has taken the last 3 weeks off. I talked about it in my short that I posted earlier today. The guy had a meltdown at the U.S. Open. You want to call it nerves, you want to call it, non-clutch, whatever you want to call it. I mean, something affected him. He missed 2 pretty easy putts that, you would hear him say that he should make those on any given day. 2 putts from within 5 feet, I think one of them from within 3 feet, is something you just got to bury when you have a U.S. Open on the line. If he makes both of those putts, he is the U.S. Open champion, and his decade-long major drought is over. So he takes 3 weeks off, and now we're going to see him over in the UK. He is from Northern Ireland, which is a country in the UK. Should be very comfortable at the Genesis Scottish Open. We'll see how he plays. He usually does play well in Scotland. Him and Tommy Fleetwood both play pretty well in Scotland, and we'll see what Rory McIlroy is able to do at the Open Championship, which I think the Open Championship, you would hear Rory McIlroy say, is one of the more important events to him. It's the Masters, which he still has yet to win. It is the Open Championship, and it is the Ryder Cup for him. I think are the 3 most important events. Of course, are the 3 events that he wants to win the most. So Rory McIlroy now going in Scotland. Next 2 weeks are going to be big for this guy. Hopefully he can make a comeback, make a little bit of a bounce back in Scotland. We don't know if he can, but is one of the biggest headlines to look for. Number 2, Xander Schauffele won the PGA Championship to end his 0 majors in his career storyline. He gets number 2, has played some good golf, hasn't played in a little bit, but he will be back. Played pretty well at the U.S. Open. A lot of top 10s for this guy. He is second, 2,000 points behind number 1 and number 1 on my list. We all know who number 1 on my list is. That's enough of Xander Schauffele. It's going to be Scottie Scheffler. This guy's fantastic. made like $50 million playing golf. Not true. Or, well, he has made $50 million playing golf, but like this year has made like $30 million. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Looking at Scotty Scheffler, 5,768 5,768 is his FedEx Cup points. He's over 2,000 points ahead of second place Xander Schauffele. First at the Travelers first at the Travelers, first at the Memorial, first at the Travelers, first at the Memorial, first at the RBC Heritage, first at the Masters, first at the Players, first at the Arnold Palmer. He has 6 wins this year. What are we doing? This guy's ridiculous. Like, 5 of them have been, 5 of them have been signature events, and the other one that wasn't a signature event is the Masters. Silly. 4 of them have been signature events. One of them the Masters, one of them the Players. Just going on winning 6 of the more important events on tour this entire year. He's playing some good golf. Yeah, he's a really good golfer, just dominating everybody in the field in a lot of categories. I mean, you can go ahead and name them. It's a never-ending list. Scotty Scheffler, the number 1 golfer in the world. That'll wrap it up for my top 10 power rankings for the top 10 world golf power rankings, top 10 golfers in the world. That'll wrap it up for my my Tuesday edition of the GSMC Golf Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in and supporting the GSMC Golf Podcast. All the support does mean a lot to us. If you enjoyed the show and want to keep up to date with more sports and more things involving the GSMC Sports Network, you can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the GSMC Sports Network. You can also, if you enjoyed the show, leave a like and subscribe on YouTube. Rate it on whatever podcasting platform you are listening to this on. All those things do go a long way, helps get our name and brand out, and it does help support us a lot. But with that being said, for one last time, we do appreciate you guys and everybody tuning in. Thank you all for the support, and have a fantastic and wonderful evening.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.